50, 45. There goes Davis. Oh, my God. Davis is going to run it all the way back. Auburn's going to win the football game. Auburn's going to win the football game. He ran the missed field goal back. He ran it back 109 yards. They're not going to keep him off the field tonight. Holy cow. Oh, my God. Auburn wins. Auburn has won the Iron Bowl. Auburn has won the Iron Bowl in the most unbelievable fashion you will ever see.
Oh, good morning and welcome in everyone to a brand new edition of the Dream Wager, episode 450. Today is Friday, October 4th, 2024, and the Mets are advancing, kid. How the fuck you doing?
Honestly, I'm excited for this special Friday morning episode. You know, we're live. The Mets are in the playoffs. Exciting, honestly, sports all around. Football, basketball, baseball. Dale, let's get into it.
Yeah, we'll talk about Thursday night in just a sec. We got NFL Week 5 plays. Elvis is saying he loved the board. I actually had the opposite. I thought this week was kind of tough for me, at least. We'll dive into all of our plays, lock, dog, teaser as well. We got college football Week 6. I actually like that board this week. Colorado is on a bye, but I got about 7 plays in the college game. No baseball today. They take the day off for travel day, but we got 4 games on Saturday, and we got 2 WNBA playoff games here on Friday as well. But, kid, I do have to start it off with my Mets. I mean, this team just doesn't quit. I'm kind of losing the words to kind of describe the season, the way this team has handled things. I mean, being down 13 games in early June to fight back to make the playoffs. This team just doesn't quit no matter. They put up two hits going into the 9th inning, and they rally and get 4 runs and knock off the Brewers on the road. Pete Alonso wasn't able to do anything, and then he hits a go-ahead 3-run home run opposite field. I mean, you just can't write it. This team just doesn't quit, man.
Yeah, Dale. You know, it was I'm gonna just say it was a slow-paced game. I was watching a game with my grandfather, Dale. You know, after the 6th inning, 6 scoreless, you know, I had to go outside. I had to go, you know, take the dogs out, something, Dale. And it was exciting. You know, with the 7th for the 8th, the Brewers hit back-to-back home runs. I was like, holy shit. And then the top of the 9th, Dale, you know, you got something going. Then a guy who's been, let's just say, criticized a lot
that's fair
this year, you know, saved the season. You know, the announcers are saying, you know, possibly his last at bat as a Met. Still don't got a contract done with him, Dill. I know after yesterday, every Met fan is screaming, pay the man. Dill. I think Pete Alonso just earned himself a crazy contract off one swing of a bat yesterday in Milwaukee.
Yeah, I do think he lost some money because, you know, we offered him a 7-year contract last season. I don't think he's going to get 7 years now because he didn't have the best season.
He felt it definitely a down year from the previous 3.
And, you know, we're definitely, I mean, we have to pay him. I'm on record saying we need to pay him. We need to build a culture around a guy like Pete Alonso. Yes, he'll go through his cold slumps, but he's a glue guy. The locker room loves him, and the fans love him as well. I like Pete Alonso. I just think, you know, he goes through those tough times where, you know, for 2 or 3 weeks, he's going to go over 20 sometimes.
That's a guy you got to keep around, Dill. That's a guy that can honestly, one, he's going to put asses in his seats, and when he's hot, he's arguably one of the best hitters in all of baseball. He reminds me of like a Jim Thome. Yeah, he's going to strike out. He's going to go cold for a couple times, or like a Travis Hefner. You know,
oh, wow, yeah.
I'm telling you, man. You know me. I'm back in the day, so
I see.
Like he reminds me of those guys. Yes, he's not gonna hit for a high average, but he's gonna give you 30 plus, couple RBIs. You know, he's gonna do what he needs to do as a first baseman / DH hitter. And I think Pete Alonso is a great asset for the Mets.
I mean, what a rally. It was insane because their closer, I think it's Devin Williams, he didn't let a home run up in the last 50, 60 at bats. So for Pete Alonso to hit a home run in that time,
Apple at that.
Oh, we got PD in the chat early talking about Phillies crushing the Mets this week. Oh, I can't wait. It's gonna be a great series. NL East divisional round. We got the Mets and the Phillies, the Tigers, another division in the AL Central, the Tigers and the Guardians, Yankees and the Royals, and a very interesting series in the Dodgers and the Padres. That is going to be a really good one. I would definitely say the NL is a little more exciting than the
Mm-hmm.
AL right now, right? All the people, like all the teams that I guess were frightening the Yankee fans, they're gone. You have no Astros, no Baltimore. You need to win. If you don't make it to the ALCS or possibly the World Series, it is a failure on the organization at this point, kid. I mean, they have to beat the Royals. And then no matter who advances, whether it's, I know it's a great story with the Tigers and they have all the momentum right now, but whether it's the Tigers or the Guardians, the Yankees need to win. Is that a fair assessment?
No, I definitely agree with you 100%. Though the Yankees are clear cut the favorite to represent the AL. They're the only people. I know Philly's a heavy favorite against you, Dill, but Yankees are definitely the most favorite team in the divisional round. And it's just, I'm not gonna say they got lucky, Dill, because the Royals definitely deserve to be here. But if you're a Yankees fan, this is definitely the matchup you wanted.
Yeah.
So you don't need to run into the Houston Astros, who's gonna get into the ALCS no matter what. You could just pencil them, and somehow, some way, they're gonna get there. You avoided that, and then Baltimore, who hasn't really had the playoff success still, but we know what Baltimore represents, and that would have been a tough matchup for the Yankees.
Yeah.
So, if you're a Yankee fan, you're definitely happy for the bracket this postseason.
Yeah, playing out the way it has. And, a lot of people argue, Royals are live here because they could throw a lot of pitchers at them. And outside of game one and Garrett Cole, no really pitcher scares the Royals. Who are you going to throw? Carlos Rodon, Nestor Cortez? I mean, no one is a really household
Torino,
name like Garrett
Lugo.
Cole. And Petey says a good thing. NLDS and AL should be 7-game series. I agree. 5-game series is just a tease here. We need more baseball. So best of 7. We do need to change that as well. But yeah, I just wanted to start off the show with a little positivity with my Mets, kid. But let's get into Thursday night. I mean, I think we handicapped this to the T. I mean, we said over the total was just very low to begin with at 43.5. I mean, the Falcons almost went over it themselves. We leaned the Falcons on the money line. They cover the 2.5 as well. They needed overtime to do so, but they cover. Kirk Cousins, besides throwing that late pick where Levante Davis just read his eyes from the beginning, outside of that, I thought he played really well, over 500 yards. They were just throwing the ball. They really didn't run the ball all that well, but they were lighting it up. Darnell Mooney, I mean, outside of that one drop, I thought he had a really good game. Drake London, have yourself a fucking game. Kyle Pitts, welcome back. We talk about Kyle Pitts all the time, just evaporating into thin air. He came alive as well. Thoughts on the Falcons real quick. Big win at home.
I gotta give the bad before the good, Dale. Defensively, I think you and I thought Atlanta's Falcons defense is gonna be, pretty good, a top 10 defense, especially after the late additions. Simmons on the secondary, Judon late addition in the front. Dale, that front cannot get any pressure. I think Baker was sacked one time. You know, that's a little concerning for me moving forward, just because yes, the offense was striving, but the fact that Baker Mayfield started what damn near perfect. He had 3 touchdowns in the first half. You couldn't stop Mike Evans in the first half. The Tampa Bay's offense was honestly unstoppable. Dill,
Yeah.
give Atlanta credit; they fall back. One thing I can honestly say that's a little concerning besides the defense is all 3 wins, game-winning comeback drives. I want to see a game where the Falcons put somebody away early first half. But Kirk Cousins had himself a day. Definitely his best game back since returning from injury as a Falcon. 509 yards. Though this might be the most yard total for the season. Who knows? And it came on a Thursday night football game. Who would have thought? Bijan Robinson, though, as a fantasy owner of Bijan, anybody out there as a fantasy owner, he's been a disappointment so far. Though I think he only got me 10 or 11 points, 12 carries, 61 yards, and the most of the yards just came on that big run in the late third or fourth quarter. So
Yeah.
couldn't really get nothing going in the running game. Tyler Algier, he had a couple of runs still, but he was going nowhere fast as well. 6 carries, 12 yards. The running game was honestly not really the focus point, but the passing game, Dale. Darnell Mooney, how you doing? Drake London, how you doing? I think that was a career game. 12 catches, 154, and a tutty, Dale. like you said, besides that one drop ball, Darnell Mooney had himself a game. Kyle Pitts was honestly the surprising story. Then Cardell Hodges, they'll give him his flowers. He broke that tackle. I think the
He
defense
was
legs.
out.
I'm be honest. I think that play literally came down to he was fresh, got limited snaps throughout the game, fresh legs against a very tired defense in
Yeah.
overtime, and the kids just ran out of their life. So give credit to Hodges being fresh legs, getting into play, and Kirk Cousins being on point the whole night. But Tampa, I wouldn't overreact. I think Baker Mayfield played himself a tremendous game. The running game finally got going. Rashad Wright, Bucky Irving, everybody ran the ball pretty well. It's just second half, Atlanta's defense honestly started clamping down, but regardless, Tampa should have won this game.
Yeah, it all came down to the coin toss. I mean, Atlanta winning it and then being able to get fresh legs on the field really helped because that defense was tired for Tampa. They were just on the field with that last drive going into overtime. So yeah, good call there. And I'll say it was a tale of two halves. Yeah, Tampa Bay started off strong and hot, but second half, got to give Raheem Morrison the defense credit because they really clamped down in that second half, only holding them to 6 points, 2 field goals as well. So they weren't able to get into the end zone after that. I thought Chris Godwin had a good game. Mike Evans getting his 100th career TD. Shout out him. He had 2 touchdowns on the game as well. But yeah, I thought in Atlanta's side, he got really everyone involved. Even Tyler Algier, Bijan Robinson had 3 catches. Ray McLeod, they were getting him active in a lot of bubble screens as well. I thought it was a really good job. They weren't able to run the ball, but Tampa, they ran the ball well. Bucky Irving goes over. That was a sweat, over 41.5 rushing yards, but we do get there with 44.5. But overall, kid, it was a really good night for me. I go 2-1 on my plays. I get Bucky Irving over. Chase McClellan, the Tampa Bay kicker, over 1.5 field goals. He made 3. And then Bijan Robinson over 3.5 receptions. He ended with 3. So 2-1 on the night, but we handicapped it well. We took the Falcons. We said that they were the right side here at home. We leaned over. We didn't agree with the line movement coming down. It actually was a shootout, and that's what we've seen on Thursday nights, kind of shootout games. But how did you do overall on Thursday night?
Officially, I went 1-0, but really I went 2-0. For the people that was listening, I said Mooney over on the show. We just didn't have the line out yet, but I was able to cash in. Online on a parlay as well. So didn't go 2-0 on my action. Went 1-0 with Atlanta on the money line. But we'll take it.
Yeah, both teams now 3-2. Are you worried about Tampa and moving forward with their defense? Because it looked like they really couldn't stop not Atlanta, excuse me, Tampa Bay's defense, because it really didn't look like they were able to stop Atlanta.
Realistically, no, just because we saw how well that defense played against Detroit Lions, high-powered offense. How it played, I understand that they were starless, but look how well they played the week prior against Philadelphia. So I'm not gonna take too much from it. I think Kirk Cousins was just on fire. They had a great game plan, and give Atlanta credit, But I think defensively to be just fine. They had a couple injuries. Their starting linebacker was out as well. I think
Anton Winfield got hurt during the game as well.
So they definitely had some injuries on the defensive side, and then we saw it in the second half. Though they just honestly couldn't make enough tackles to stop the bleeding. I think defensively just fine. I think Todd Bowles is still one of the best defensive minds in all of football. It was a tough night for them.
And you mentioned a lot of their wins are coming from comeback wins. I like that, though. It shows me that this team could win and they could fight back. I know that you want to see them just blow the brakes off.
I need them to put it on somebody. That's all.
But they just might not be that team right now. Maybe they'll develop into that team down the road. But right now, I do like them winning some close games.
But not every game. Every win could be a comeback win.
100%. There's due to regression. I agree with that. All right, kid. Before we get to week 5 plays, a quick word from our sponsor. We are brought to you each and every episode by Viva Tequila Seltzer, the most refreshing hard seltzer on the market, hands down. There's no wonder why Viva was voted #1 hard seltzer in the world by San Francisco World Spirit Competition. With only 88 calories, 0 carbs, 0 sugar, and a light 4.5 ABV, Viva is the perfect drink for your post-game celebration, as it was created with that active lifestyle in mind. We favor tequila seltzer because flavor is the spice of life, and we like our drinks with just a kick just like how we like our lives. Whether it's Huckleberry playing a round of golf with the boys or new coconut flavor watching NFL Sunday, it doesn't matter. Our favorites pair perfectly with that Artisanal Blanco tequila for that subtle and refreshing taste. Our belief here at the Dream Wager and at Viva is to live long, live well, and live it up. All right, kid, let's get to it. NFL Week 5 here. And, we're going to start across the pond in London, baby, where my New York Jets are on the road. Minnesota technically is the home team, but revenge spot for Sammy D and the Vikings. Minnesota laying 2.5 in London at Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. -136 on the money line, +116 for Aaron Rodgers and the Jets. Over under is at 40.5. Now, the books have been feel like undervaluing the Vikings for most of the season, being underdogs in most of the games. Now they're the favorite. I think rightfully so, kid. I think you got to take the Vikings here. I think Minnesota's passing game is much better. I think Sam Darnold is playing better than Aaron Rodgers. I think the run game has been much better for Minnesota as well. I like the total. I think we'll see a lower scoring game. I don't know. I think Sauce will limit, because I don't think you could fully stop Justin Jefferson. I think he'll limit as best as he could Justin Jefferson. He's probably going to travel with him. But outside of that, I don't know how DJ Reed's going to handle Jordan Addison. I have concerns, to be honest. I don't know how the Jets are really going to stop it. I don't know how the cadence is going to be with Aaron Rodgers in that offensive line. We got good news. Morgan Moses is practicing, so he'll hopefully be ready for Monday night next week against the Bills. But, yeah, I think the market is telling you this team is legit at this point. Them being a favorite, I think, is for good reason. So, as a Jet fan, I can't officially take it, but I do lean the Vikings, kid. I do think they're the right side here.
Yeah, the Vikings are definitely the right side. I think the lines definitely adjusted just because if say this is for example, if you would have won the game against Denver, Dill, maybe it would have been a pick 'em. But the fact that you couldn't get in the end zone, I understand it was a rainy environment and everything, but the fact that you couldn't get into the end zone, the offensive line looked bad. I could see why the line is moving up towards Minnesota, Dill. I caught it at -135 on the money line, Dill. If right now it's at -145, I would lay the 2.5. People, shop around. It's still 135s out there. I'm seeing 140s, 145s on the money line. But I think Minnesota wins this game, Dill. To me, they're the better team right now. The offense is clicking. Aaron Jones is running the ball pretty damn good. Justin Jefferson is healthy. Jordan Addison is back. The tight end Munt, he's been pretty damn good. I'm worried when they get Hawkinson back how well this offense is gonna look. Bill, this is a small chance we yet to see this offense hit its peak. Maybe the team policy hit its peak, but the offense hasn't yet. Let's see how Hawkinson looks when he returns. Still, I think right now the Minnesota Vikings are just a little better than New York Jets. Offensively, your New York Jets ain't clicking, and that's my main concern. If this game turns into a shootout, I think it will be a defensive game with Brian Flores and your New York Jets defense still. But if it does get nasty, can your offense outscore Sammy? I'm saying that. Can your offense outscore Sammy D? Perfect revenge spot. Give me the Minnesota Vikings on the money line.
And if you're thinking Sam Darnold doesn't want to put it on the Jets, you're sadly
he's gonna put it on and Robert Saleh. He want to do it to
you. My worry is 77% of the money is on Minnesota. It is such a public play, and you know me, I love to stray away from the public. I don't like taking Minnesota, but I think you got to. Maybe they're good. I don't know anyone taking them in Survivor, but I do think Minnesota is the right side here. Any player props for this game for you?
Nah, Dale. I honestly lean Jordan Addison over 38.5 yards. Though I think that number is a little too short just because, I understand, Justin Jefferson on the other side, but I think Sauce is definitely going to have his hand full. And Sammy D is going to have to look at other targets. So at 38 yards still, Jordan Addison, I think that number is a little too short.
All right, let's go out to Cincinnati. We'll go back to the States now. Cincinnati, regular start time, 1 o'clock. 6. I mean, I'll say this because you were saying you love the board. There are some really good, interesting games. And then there are some why is this even on my TV? No offense, but the New England Patriots and Miami Dolphin game is just terrible. The Panthers Bears is bad, but some of them are good. Like this one, we got an AFC North showdown. The Ravens on the road taking on the Cincinnati Bengals. Ravens short favorites on the road, -2.5, -138 on the money line, +118 for the home dogs. Totals at 48.5. Key big win for the Ravens on Sunday night against the Bills. Is this a letdown spot for them?
I think so, Dill. I think the Cincinnati Bengals offensively last week looked pretty damn good. And history tells you this is when they start hitting their stride, Dill. This is when they start building, they start picking up wins. Joe Burrow starts turning into MVP form. Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, those guys are back together for a second week now, Dill. I think we see an upset, though. This is going to be my dog of the week. Give me the Cincinnati Bengals +120 on the money line. Don't get me wrong. I love what I've been seeing lately from the Baltimore Ravens in that running game, Dill. But what's my only concern? I told you last week, Dill, they got to make some noise, and some of those playmakers on the outside need to make some plays. I need Zay Flowers to do something. Though he's been a little disappointing so far. Both tight ends, besides Isaiah Likely going crazy week one, Mark Andrews and Isaiah Likely's been a no-show since week one. Dill, so I just need the outside guys to make noise. I know Derrick Henry and Lamar Jackson are gonna do those things. Those guys might have a touchdown each on the ground. It's who's gonna step up on the outside for this team, because we know the Bengals are going to put up points. Though we know Jamar Chase, Joe Burrow, T. Higgins, that offense is going to put up points. Can that passing game do as good as that running game? That's my question. Give me the Bengals +120 on the money line.
Yeah, I think it's another situation where I think the right side is the Bengals, but I don't know if I could trust them here. Definitely a earlier matchup than we're accustomed to seeing. We usually see these matchups, divisional matchups
Prime
later.
time.
Yeah, or later in the season at that. We're getting it week 5 here. I don't
Yeah.
know. My biggest question is, can the Bengals stop the run? Because it feels like they can't stop the run at all. And the Ravens are one of the best teams running the ball, especially if Todd Monken sticks to their game plan and runs it 19, 20 times with Derrick Henry. So I don't know. It's a stay away from me. If anything, I do lean the Ravens on the money line or -2.5, but I don't feel comfortable playing it at all, because I can see could be a major letdown spot for them after a huge win at home. Now going on the road against a team that just got their first win might be finding the rhythm a little bit. So, this would be a big win for the Bengals, kind of flipping the division on its head a little bit. Both would be 2-3 at that point, but I don't know. If the Ravens have a game plan like they did against the Bills, I just don't see the Bengals winning at that point. So it's a stay away from me. I do lean the Ravens, but yeah, no official play here for me in this game. Let's go to the next game. Chicago Bears hosting the Carolina Panthers. Bears laying 3.5 at home, -200 on the money line, +168 for the Panthers, +3.5. Over under is at 41.5. Now, I don't understand this line, kid, if I'm being honest, because wasn't the Bears 3-point favorites against the Rams? And Rams are a much better team than the Panthers. So I actually think this is a smash spot for the Bears. I love them here. I mean, I don't trust Andy Dalton in that offense. I mean, who do they have? Deontay Johnson, Chuba Hubbard? That's about it. And this is a top 10 defense in the Bears. I mean, I think, and every game, you said it yourself, your words, not mine. Caleb Williams is getting better every game. So I think this is a blowout spot. I'll lay the 3.5 with the Bears at home.
Yeah, I'm on the opposite side. I love everything Andy Dalton has been doing so far, bringing to this offense. Last week, he definitely took a step back from his first week starting deal, but give me the Carolina Panthers +4. I think the number, don't get me wrong, I think Chicago definitely deserves to be the favorite deal, but I see a field goal game, if that. I think even the Panthers should be a little sprinkle on the money line deal, honestly. Uh, give credit to Chicago, tough win last week, deal, but I think it's another, you got to go with the flow deal, and I think Carolina is going to do enough. I'm going to take the +4, but I definitely think it's a little sprinkle on the money line if for the people out there.
Oh, I love that you're on the opposite side. I love it. Question to you: are the Panthers and Rams even right now? Because this is the same number. That's what the
Realistically,
bookmakers are telling us. The bookmakers are telling us the Panthers are even with the Rams right now, and I don't believe that's true, in my opinion.
well, the Rams were +3, the Panthers are +4. So
Well, it opened at 3. I got at 3.5, so it's around the same.
honestly, I think the Carolina Panthers right now, offensively, about the same. Offensively, Carol Williams is definitely the much better back, but look at the weapons. I think Deontay Johnson is definitely a better wide receiver than what the Rams have right now.
We will see. Let's go to the next game. Your New England Patriots up at the Lighthouse in Foxborough. Favorites. That's right. Favorites -118 on the money line, -1.5 on the spread. Miami Dolphins +100. Over under is at 36.5. Disgusting game, kid. What do you think? You got to take the fucking Patriots here, right?
I won't do that deal, but definitely is the right side. I think we're due for a win. I have no faith in Jacoby Brissett, but I think our defense, if it's Huntley, if it's Skyler, Thompson, don't really matter. I think our defense is going to prevail, So I'm going to take the under 36.5. I think our defense honestly possibly scores a touchdown, scoop and score, pick six. We'll see. But I think our defense gets us on the board, and I think Jacoby Brissett makes our driver too. I say he gets at least 13 points. We win 20-13 Patriots.
Damn, this
33
is such
points.
an ugly game, but I think I mean, both teams are riddled with injuries right now, but
Mm-hmm. And our center, David Andrews, who's honestly one of the best centers in all of football, he's out for the season as well. So that's a little concerning as a Patriots fan, especially how our offensive line been playing as of late. Jacoby Brissett's been taking a lot of hits, but I just whoever backs Miami, if you're not a Miami fan, like a diehard Miami fan, you have a gambling problem. If you have a gambling problem, you're back in Miami on the road in New England, the way that offense looked for 2 straight weeks.
I mean, Mike McDaniel looks frustrated. Tyreek Hill looks frustrated. I just don't know where the points are going to come from. Yeah, both teams riddled with injuries, but if you are betting this game, you got to take New England here, in my opinion. I think they are the right side. I think they'll be able to make enough stops on defense. Love the under.
Yeah,
Maybe
and
you're
for anybody out there fantasy wise, I know they're available. Take a shot. Take the Patriots. Pick them up on their defense. If your defense is playing like a tough matchup, I guarantee we get a couple sacks, a pick, and like I said, possibly a score.
Yeah, and also for me and for the New England Patriots, you really can't trust Ramondre Stevenson at this point, especially if he's a fantasy guy for you. I mean, he's fumbled in every game. Mayo's come out and said, we're going to give Gibson some more touches as well. So I picked him up in a few leagues. It is worth maybe a flex spot. You do have some guys like the Chargers on a bye. So I had J.K. Dobbins, so that's why I picked up Gibson. I do think he'll get some more touches this week. But yeah, I do lean the Patriots here. I do think they're the right side here at home. Oh, this is a good game. This is a game that probably going to be on the big screen. Buffalo Bills on the road taking on the Houston Texans. Pick 'em. Buffalo short favorites on the road, -112 on the money line, -104 for the Houston Texans at home. Totals at 47. Now it's a revenge spot for Stephon Diggs going up against his former teammate in Josh Allen and the Buffalo Bills. Think they put it on him?
I don't know if I put it on him, Dill, but I think he has a pretty good game. I'm gonna start there. I'm gonna start with 2 player props, and I'm gonna give you the side, Dill. This is definitely my most invested game. The game I have most of my plays on this weekend. I think it's gonna be a great matchup. This and the Ravens game definitely gonna be on the big screen, and then iPad on the red zone. But these 2 games, my favorite matchups of the 1 o'clock window, Dill. Give me Stephon Diggs over 55.5 receiving yards. I think the Texans are going to at least get him involved early. I don't expect a monster game. I still think, Nico Collins is their number one and everything. But I think Stephon Diggs, I say, first quarter alone, I think he's at least 30, 40 yards. And then throughout the game, he'll get another 30. So I see him going for at least 60, 70 yards. I think 55.5 is just a little short. in a revenge spot against his former team. And then give me James Cook over 56.5 rushing yards, minus 131. It's a little juice, but it's a reason why, people. I think Buffalo, they need to establish the run early. They can't let CJ Stroud get on the field, dominate time possession. They need to dominate time possession because I guarantee if Houston and that offense is on the field for majority of the time, that's going to be an issue for the Buffalo Bills. So Buffalo needs to establish the run early, get James Cook involved. And if they do that, I think they win this game. They'll give me James Cook over 56.5 and give me the Buffalo Bills on the money line, minus 110. Like you said, it's a pick 'em. I just think right now after that tough loss, embarrassing loss in Baltimore last week is a perfect bounce back spot for them and Houston, and I think you agree with me. They're one of the least impressive 3-1 teams. They have the 3 wins, give them credit on that, but those 3 wins weren't impressive. To me, they should have had a couple dominant wins, and they yet to have a dominant win.
Yeah, I couldn't agree. Buffalo on the money line or laying the 1.5. That's my play as well. I think this is a perfect spot for them. I think they're the better team.
Yeah.
I think they're going to run the ball. They have to run the ball. And my problem with the Texans are Cam Akers stinks.
Well, Joe Mixon is projected to play.
He didn't practice all week.
I know, but as of right now, he looks like
he's not playing. I don't think he plays. I don't think he plays.
If he doesn't play, then I love this pick even more with Buffalo.
I think even if he does play, the line stays the same. I mean, the guy hasn't played since week 1. I mean, he hasn't practiced all week, and that's a problem. If you don't practice by Friday, you're not going to play usually. That's how it goes. So even if they do, Cam Akers thinks they don't really have a run game, kind of relying too much on the pass. Mm-hmm. And I just think that defense, even riddled with injuries on Buffalo, they find ways to win. I think they're going to be able to run the ball on this defense as well. And I agree. I think even though they are 3-1, they're a little more fraudulent. That's why I had them at number 8. Got to respect them for 3-1, but I do think they're a little more fraudulent than a lot of people think. So, yeah, I'm gonna take the Buffalo Bills here. I do think they are the right side. I'll just take them on the money line, minus 112. It's a fair price for me. Oh, tough game. Let's go to Jacksonville. Jaguars hosting the Indianapolis Colts. Jacksonville 0-4 favorites, minus 2.5 on the spread, minus 148 on the money line, plus 126 on the money line for the Colts. Over under is at 46. So look ahead for the Jags. It's also a look ahead spot back for the Bears as well. They'll play each other, the Jags and the Bears, in England next week. So look ahead spot for the Jags, maybe. Ugly game, kid. But how do you see this one going down?
I'll disagree with you on that. I don't think it's a look-ahead game just because this is a must-win game. You cannot start 0-5.
First week of October, a must-win?
You cannot start 0-5. I'm going to repeat
that. But Doug Peterson said his job is not on the line. He said he's good.
It has nothing to do with his job, dude. This is for hope. This is for
That's so crazy, though. I'm sorry. To say your job's not on the line and 0-4 is insane to me, but continue.
I don't think it is yet, but if you start 0-5, that might be a fireable offense still. This team cannot start 0-5. I think this is a must-win game, and I think they're gonna prevail. Though I think Trevor Lawrence is gonna outplay Richardson. I think he.
Or is it Joe Flacco?
If it's Joe Flacco, I'm a little worried with my pick. But I think Anthony Richardson is gonna give it a go. And I think Trevor Lawrence is going to be the much better quarterback on the field come Sunday. That's all. Defensively, I trust their defense a little more, but the Colts defense is right there. I'll lean the under as well. I don't expect a ton of points from either side, but I think Jacksonville is the better team. I think they're due for a win. If there's any team in the NFL due for the win, it's the Jacksonville Jaguars. So I'm going to lay the 2.5, take them on the money line, whatever you want to do with Jacksonville. I'm going to take the minus 2.5, minus 120, and then I'm going to also lean Christian Kirk over 52.5 receiving yards. I might take it official come Sunday, but I like the fact that he was more involved in the offense last week. Couldn't get the win, but I like the fact that he was more involved. And then he's going to have one of his favorite targets back, At one point, he was the number 1 option for a couple of weeks last season. Evan Ingram, who I've been missing in my fantasy team deeply. I think Evan Ingram has a chance to have a huge, maybe not a huge game, first game back, but he's going to be impactful, I expect Evan Ingram to be impactful from the tight end position. Give me Jacksonville Jaguars, minus 2.5.
I think the biggest problem I have with Doug Peterson is his problem not being able to develop Trevor Lawrence. That is why they brought him in. he has not gotten better since coming into Jacksonville. He's actually gotten worse. That is actually the problem for me. So that's why I think he's on the hot spot. But I agree. I think you got to take Jacksonville here, -2.5. Ugly spot, but it's a look ahead. They're going home next week to London. They're eventually going to move there, I think. But yeah, I think I trust them to be able to stop the run. Colts, Jonathan Taylor, still riddled with that injury. I don't know if he's going to be
Mild high
100%.
ankle sprain.
Yeah, so
I'm
he's
not
going to
sure
be
if he's
hurt.
gonna. Yeah, I'm not sure if he's gonna be able to play come Sunday. I hope he does as a fantasy owner, Dill. But I
Do
think
you,
it's
though? Because he might get hurt and even get
me
longer.
personally, yes, because my team is riddled with injuries. I have Rashid
Also,
Rice.
selfishly.
Malik Neighbor is dealing with a concussion. I got another. Trust me, my team is hurt, so I need him.
Yeah, and I guess this pick all depends on if AR-15 plays or if Joe Flacco plays. If Joe Flacco plays, I'll put an asterisk. My pick is subject to change because I believe in Joe Flacco, and I think Joe Flacco is actually better than Trevor Lawrence. So
Anthony Richardson.
both. Both.
I'm not gonna.
Joe Flacco's a Super Bowl MVP. That's it.
I'm gonna say this: the last 15 games, Joe Flacco's been the better of the three.
The last year, we could say the last year.
Nah, because he came in like.
It doesn't matter. The last year, Joe Flacco's been better than Trevor Lawrence. I know you got a hard on for Trevor, and he's good. And trust me, I want him to be good too, but I just don't know with Doug Peterson. Maybe he needs a change in scenery, but I agree. I think I was kidding when it's a must win, but I agree. They need to win. They can't start 0-5. I think they couldn't start 0-4, but I think this is a good.
You win this game next week in overseas. That's gonna be a home game for them.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, you win 2 in a row. Anything's possible.
Anything is possible, like Paul Pierce said, or was it Kevin Garnett said?
KG.
Yeah, KG. Doesn't matter, same shit. Yeah, give me Jacksonville. I do lean them. If Joe Flacco doesn't play, if it's AR-15, Trevor Lawrence is by far the better quarterback, and they should win that game. If they lose to Anthony Richardson at home, you're done.
Fireball fans.
You're done.
Nah, unless he balls still. Unless he balls.
Let's go out to Washington and probably the best team in the NFC East right now, the Washington Redskins hosting the Deshaun Watson Cleveland Browns. I mean, sad season. They get me every offseason. They riddle me in and they go, we're good.
Take your money.
They like to take my money. It's so sad. They've taken a lot of my money. Maybe not this week. Redskins laying 3 at home, -174 on the money line, +146 for the Brownies. Over under is at 43.5. This kid might be the best quarterback in the league the way the media's been talking about him. But Jaden Daniels, can he keep it going? 4-1, huh?
Still, my lovely people from Maryland, I'm going to lean the Browns +3.5.
That's such an awful pick. Oh, my God.
I know. I don't know. I just feel like, the Browns, defensively, they could possibly make the rookie look like a rookie, Dill. Don't get me wrong. He's been looking like a fucking vet to start the season. I'm not denying it, Dill. The kid has been special. But the kid is going to have a bad day eventually. And I'm saying it might be this Sunday against arguably one of the best defensive football, Dill. Don't get me wrong. I'm still concerned with that offensive line and Deshaun Watson. He's not the Houston Dogs, Deshaun Watson, Dill. I'm letting that go. If he could just be consistent, if he could go out there and play, if he could go out there and just perform a little better than Jalen Daniels, I think the Cleveland Browns not just cover the spread. I think they're live dogs still. I think Washington Commanders been playing at a high level so far, very high, defensively and offensively, Dill. But maybe this game is time for regression, Dill. I think the NFL is about flows, Dill. I think Cleveland's due for a win. David Njoku should be back. He will be starting at the tight end position. I think that's Deshaun Watson, one of his favorite weapons. You got Cooper, you got Jerry Jeudy. You're going to have David Ayuk out there. I think this is a tough spot for Washington. I think, honestly, that defense could possibly make the rookie look like a rookie. And I haven't taken it officially yet. That's why I lean the +3.5. But check my action come Sunday. Might take Cleveland.
Yeah, I'm going to take Washington here. I'll lay the 3. I think they're just overall the much better team. Last week, the Browns and Deshaun Watson, I thought he played the best game of his short career in Cleveland. It definitely wasn't his fault last week. I thought he played actually really well, but I think this defense is starting to figure things out under Dan Quinn. I think they're
Mhm.
starting to play
Mhm.
more of what he wants to play. The offense, I think the connection with him and Scary Terry is developing week by week. We already know what he has with Zach Ertz. I do worry about the run game. Brian Robinson hasn't practiced all week. I don't know if he'll be able to go, but they do have Austin Eckler. It just came down to I think Jaden Daniels is better than Deshaun Watson right now, and I just can't
I
back
agree.
Deshaun Watson at this point. So I know he played well, and it wasn't his fault last week, but yeah, I can't trust the Cleveland Browns. It always seems like it's always on script. The first drive they have, they'll go right down the field and score, and then they'll just stall out the whole game. It looks like Amari Cooper is frustrated as well. Don't know how long he lasts as well, especially if they lose again. He's gonna be on the trading block eventually. So I just don't trust the overall aura of this team right now. So I got to back the hotter team. Could be a letdown spot, but at home, if it was on the road and they were laying 3, then I'd be like, okay, I understand. I'll take the Browns at home +3. But on the road, I just don't know if they'll be able to come there and stop a really hot Jaden Daniels. I mean, the offense just doesn't punt anymore. Shout out Cliff Kingsbury. I mean, he's really dicing them up out there. So
Mhm.
love everything that this Redskin team is doing right now. So yeah, I'd lean the lane to 3 at home with the Redskins. Let's go to the 4 o'clock window. The 49ers -7.5 at home, -355 on the money line, +285 for Arizona. Over under is at 49.5. Now, short week for the 49ers and the Seahawks. They both play this upcoming Thursday. So might be a short week for them, maybe a look ahead spot. And that's why I love Arizona +7.5 right now. I mean, they're riddled with injury right now. I don't know if CMC's ever going to play this year or again. I mean, when it's like those girls, who go across the country or to a different country and get a BBL because they know they won't do it in the States. It's like you got to go to Germany for an expert opinion because everyone in the States saying doesn't look good. You know what I mean? So don't be surprised. Like if he doesn't play, I mean, I won't be. If he comes out next week and say, hey, CMC's done for the year, would you honestly be surprised at this point?
Nah, just because it's both.
Yeah.
After the Germany trip, they came out and said it's both tendons. That's not good. If it was just one aching, from the preseason from practice, okay. That's a injury that lingers. It's okay. It's understandable. Maybe he could fight through come week 8, week 10. But Dill, if you're telling me both
Yeah.
are hurt, you're gonna have to drive off one of those foot still. The fact that you can't drive off either, we know CMC's a power back. He's gonna break a lot of tackles, and he does so many things. He catches it, he runs it. So I think if it's both of his legs, still both of his Achilles, still, we won't be able to see the offensive player of the year.
Yeah.
CMC could be on the field. It just
Yeah.
won't be the offensive player of the year.
Yeah.
CMC.
Yeah, agreed. And we haven't handicapped him the whole year because he's been out the whole year. But him being gone, Trent Williams being hurt, Debo being hurt, George Kittle. I know he returned to practice this week, but he was dealing with something. And I just think this is an ultimate look ahead spot. They're really not worried about Arizona. I think they win, but I think if Arizona is able to score 17 points, I think that's enough to cover this 7.5. I think the back door is going to be wide open for Kyler Murray. I think 49ers are looking ahead to a much harder game on Thursday night against Seattle. So I love Arizona. Might be my dog of the week. Don't know yet, but I love the +7. I think Kyler Murray will be able to score points. Now, their defense can't stop a nosebleed. That is the problem. But I do think offensively, Kyler Murray, Marvin Harrison Jr., I think they'll be able to develop something. Even on the ground with James Conner, he's still a star. So, yeah, I think the back door is going to be wide open late. So, 24-17. Give me Arizona +7.5.
The one thing I would disagree with is your final score, 24-17. I'm going to lean the over, though. Both defenses, even though the 49ers, they have the names, though, but so far this season, they haven't been a good or great defense. I think Kyler Murray can honestly hurt him a little bit. Him and Marvin and those weapons. Like you said, James Conner always live for a touchdown, honestly. I'm going to play safe, though. I'm going to tease the 49ers down. I still think they're the better team. I still think they're going to go out there and win this game. It's 2-2 start. I think this is not a must win, but, you definitely need to get this a win against a divisional opponent, which is gettable. There's the Arizona Cardinals. I think Kyle Shanahan and company, Brock Purdy, is going to take care of business. Playing it safe, I'm going to tease down this 49ers to 1.5. I think that's the best option just to play it safe.
Yeah, it is a good teaser spot, and I do agree with that.
But I do think it will be a shootout there. I think the 49ers are always live for, 27-30. And I think the Cardinals and Kyler Murray, I want to be shocked to get to 24.
Let's go to Denver. Mile High. Can Bo Nix make it 2 in a row? The Denver Broncos hosting the Raiders. Oh,
3 in a row.
My fault. They want to disrespect the Raiders now. Raiders on the road, plus 130. Denver laying 2.5 at home, minus 154 on the money line. Over under low. It's lower than the Patriots-Dolphins game, 35.5. Kid, this is my favorite play of the weekend. Give me Bo Nix and the Denver Broncos. I'll lay it. I mean, this
favorite play is nuts. Wow, yeah. Though. I love it. I love the energy, though.
Favorite play. I think this is a lock opportunity spot for the Denver Broncos. I think Bo Nix is going to have a field day on this defense. Max Crosby's hurt. This defense is not good. You got the whole thing we got a major coach advantage with Sean Payton and Antonio Pierce. Like Antonio Pierce as a guy, but I don't know necessarily if he's the best coach. Got a major advantage there. We saw the run game yesterday or last week with Javonte Williams. I think they're going to be able to run the hell out of the ball. Cortland Sutton is starting to pick it up a little bit. I worry about Bo Nix sometimes, but let's be honest, he's better than Gardner Minshew. Gardner Minshew has been awful for the Raiders. No Devontae Adams, he's gone. He's still on the team, but he's not playing because of the hamstring injury. So I really don't know.
He's not playing because he's getting traded.
Yeah. Quote unquote, he's dealing with the hamstring injury, but yes, he's going to be traded soon. But yeah, I just think I don't know where this offense and the scoring is going to come from for this Raider defense. You got your best player in Max Crosby, who, everyone said he's never been hurt up until Antonio Pierce has become coach. So, I mean, he's playing him a little too much, I think. So, I don't know. This defense can't stop Bo Nix right now. I think they blow him out, if I'm being honest. Maybe a 20-10, 20-7 type of game. Mile High, going up in elevation. Tough place to play if you're a Raider fan. So, yeah, I'll lay the 2.5. That's my favorite play of the weekend.
Nope.
Can't take the Raiders, kid. You can't. I know you like the Raiders, but you can't take them in this spot. They stink. Their defense isn't good. You really trust Gardner Minshew? Come on.
Dill, not official.
Oh, my God.
But give me the Raiders plus 3. I think this is a tough spot for the Denver Broncos. Look, they're at home, Dill. But you coming off 2 impressive wins as 7-point dogs. 7.5 against the Bucks. 7.5 against your New York Jets, Dill. And they pulled them off both on the road. I think the rookie back at home, I think he's just due for a loss still. That's all. You had 2 back-to-back impressive wins as a combined 15-point dog. So now you're a favorite at home against a Raiders team that, let's just say, the locker room is either going to fight for the coach or they're a little mad at him. Right now, like you said, Max Crosby's hurt. Devontae Adams is saying he wants to go somewhere else. I don't know what it is. But one thing I can honestly say is I think the Raiders came together last week. They played well. They played pretty good against a Deshaun Watson Cleveland Browns team who honestly showed up and came to play, Dill. I agree with you. I think Gardner Minshew hasn't been as good as we thought he'll be. But I honestly think he will outplay Bo Nix this Sunday, Dill. So I'm going to lean the plus 3. If anything, tease the Raiders up to, plus 9. I highly doubt they lose this game more than a touchdown, Dill. But I think the Raiders are live in this scenario, Dill. You can kill me all you want, Dill. But you can at least admit, Broncos coming off 2 back-to-back 7.5 point underdogs road wins to come back home and
they're fighting their stride. That's it. That's all it is.
Dill. All I'm saying is it's a tough spot to win 3 straight games. I don't know.
I don't know. I don't
Divisional
think so.
matchup.
Well,
I don't know.
yeah, the Raiders stink. All right, let's go out to
I'm
Los
not saying
Angeles.
they're great. I'm not saying they're great. All I'm saying is that you gotta look at things. You gotta look at it, and that's what I'm doing. I'm looking at things. That's why I take it official now. That's why it's not official now.
Rams hosting the Green Bay Packers. Packers laying 3 on the road, minus 164 on the money line. Rams +3, plus 138 as a home dog. Over under is at 48.5. We taking Jordan Love. I mean, he didn't look the best, but he still put up some numbers here. I just don't know about the Rams, if I'm being honest, at home.
Phil, I got the perfect analogy for you. You just told me a couple plays ago, you know, Chicago was favored 3 points last week against the Rams, right?
Yeah.
And you say the Rams are better than the Panthers, right?
Mm-hmm. Correct.
If the Bears was a 3-point favorite against the Rams, Green Bay has to be at least a 6.5 touchdown favorite. This 9 makes zero sense to me. We saw the Chicago Bears take care of this LA Rams team last week. To me, Green Bay is much better than Chicago, in my opinion. Much, much better. We saw Jordan Love struggle for a half last week, and then we saw him on fire for a half last week. I think we see a little more second half Jordan Love than we did first half Jordan Love. Though we saw him get more comfortable. I expect Jalen Reed to have another huge game. He's always impactful. You know, Kraft, the tight end, he's been doing his thing. Josh Jacobs been running the hell out of this ball, Dill. And offensively for LA, Dill, who they got besides Curtin Williams? Who are you going to expect to step up? Don't get me wrong, I do lean Tutu Atwell over 47.5 receiving yards. To me, that's their best outside weapon right now, Dill. But right now, Green Bay is just loaded. Offensively, defensively, Jair Alexander, I think he's live for another interception. We know Matthew Stafford is live to give up for those turnovers, Dill. Honestly, I think 3 points is not enough. I even will boost up the Green Bay to plus money, minus 5.5, minus 6.5, get it up to 7. I think they win by a touchdown plus.
Ooh, I actually like the Rams plus the 3, if I'm being honest. I just think ultimately that offense has to turn things around.
I know, real quick.
Yeah.
You like the Rams plus 3, but are the Green Bay Packers better than the Chicago Bears? Yes or no?
Yeah, but there are signs that the Packers didn't play well last week I have worry about.
I do not disagree with that at all. But offensively, Dill, Jordan Love is going to do much more damage to that defense than Caleb Williams did.
We'll see. That's why they play the game. My thing is Jordan Love, 0-2 as a starter. Malik Willis, 2-0 as a starter. These aren't opinions. These are facts. So say what you want about Jordan Love.
He's
0-2.
I love to play even more now, though. He's due for a win.
Yeah, we know. I don't know. I think Sean McVay kind of has an advantage over LaFleur as well. I mean, coming off that loss, I think Sean McVay coming back home wants to prove something against his buddy in LaFleur. So I stayed away from it. I think it's a good teaser spot for the Rams to tease them up. I don't know. I just don't see Green Bay blowing anyone out right now. Jordan Love played okay, but there were signs where he did not look good last week. So I'm going to stay away from it. I do lean the home dog plus the 3, but ultimately it's a stay away from me. 2 games left. Penultimate game. We will go out to Seattle. The Seahawks hosting the New York Giants. Seahawks laying 6.5 at home, minus 300, plus 245 for the G-men. Over under is at 43.5. Now, you mentioned it, Malik Neighbors. Now, different with him is I think he is on track to play. They had the little mini bye. They played on Thursday night. All indications will, if he practices today, he will play on Sunday. I think he plays. It's a little asterisk on it, but if Malik Neighbor plays, I have to take the G-men here. I think they're live as well. An interesting fact, every team this year that have come off and played the Lions are defeated. They're 0-4 after playing the Detroit Lions. Seahawks just played the Lions, and the G-men starting to click a little bit here on offense. I like Malik Neighbors. I think Singletary could run the ball as well. Daniel Jones, not a household name, but he has played better than I think most people anticipated after that horrible week 1 But yeah, and as much as I like Geno Smith, I think this is an ultimate letdown spot for them. I think the offense is going to regress just a little. Don't know how they're going to do stopping the run. And I think that defensive line will be able to get after Geno Smith. That offensive line is not good. Give me the G-Men, plus 6.5. I lean them outright as well. I think they could win this game.
I don't know if they win this game, though, but I think the G-Man, honestly, and Daniel Jones have been playing better. We can't deny the fact that Daniel Jones has been impressive these last 3 weeks. People understand. I understand. It's Daniel Jones. You might not like to do, but you cannot deny the fact that since week 1, he's been impressive. He's been playing good ball. Hasn't really been turning the ball over. He's been making better decisions. You got at least acknowledge that from Daniel Jones. Still, I do agree with you. I'm not saying they're live. I'm not saying take the plus 6.5, but I expect the Giants to, stride a little bit, play a little better than they played recently, and I expect the Seattle to regress a little bit. Geno Smith has been playing at a high level. He threw almost 400 yards last week. The wide receiver core in that offense is flowing very high. I think last week defensively they got exposed a little bit. Don't get me wrong, Danny Jones is not Jared Goff, and they don't have that running game deal, but that defense, let's just say it's a lot of people going to watch that film last week and they'll be like, we could do some of that, we could do some of that, we could try some of that. So I'm concerned a little bit about their defense in that offensive line. I agree with you, Bill. So I'm gonna play it safe. I also think it's a look ahead spot. I think their focus is for Thursday against the 49ers, not taking the G-Men too serious because they are the G-Men. Give me the Seattle. I'm gonna tease them down. So I'm gonna take the plus 6.5 to minus half. So that's my two-way teaser. Give me the San Francisco 49ers and the Seattle Seahawks 49ers to 1.5. Seattle to basically just a pick 'em at minus a point at minus 140. Two-way teaser.
Yeah, ultimately, like you said, that was the ultimate thing for me was the look ahead spot Thursday night. Got a short week against a much better team in the 49ers. They're not going to take them serious. They'll win the game, I think, maybe. But I do think the Giants, they're playing well right now. I think this offense will be able to score points with them. So, yeah, love them plus the 6.5. And then we'll get to Sunday night football in Pittsburgh. The Steelers are hosting the Dallas Cowboys. Steelers short favorites at home, minus 1.5 on the spread, minus 136 on the money line, plus 116 for Dak and the Cowboys. Over under is at 43.5. Kid, I'll let you lead this one off. What do you like here, Sunday Night Football?
Dale, this is definitely a tough matchup. I like the Dallas Cowboys, but right now they're riddled with injuries. Brandon Cook, a no-go. He won't be in the game. DeMarcus Lawrence, he's a no-go. He's looking like he might head to the IR for a couple of weeks. As of right now, Micah Parsons is doubtful. I highly doubt he plays this game. He had a ankle sprain last week. He was carted off. I think it'll be a tough spot for him to come back and play this game, Dill. So that defense is hurting right now. DeVarn Bland as well. We know how all the interceptions he got last year. He's out with an injury. Still, that defense, I don't know if they're going to be able to get the stops. We saw Justin Fields last week, especially in the second half, look better. He kind of hit his offensive stride. To me, the kid is getting more confident with this offense as well. I just don't see Dallas defense able to, keep Justin Fields in that offense off the field enough to Dak to work his magic. And I expect Pittsburgh defense to suffocate Dallas just a little bit. We know they got no running game. Zeke, Rico Dow together can't really get nothing going. And then to me, they're gonna have to zero in and CeeDee Lamb and see if the other guys can beat you. Jake Ferguson, my boy Tolbert. Who are the guys besides CeeDee Lamb? Can the running game beat you? Can those other guys beat you? I think not, Dill. Give me the Pittsburgh Steelers on the money line. And then my prop for the game, like I said, no Brandon Cooks. I expect Dak to force feed CeeDee Lamb. So I'm going to take CeeDee Lamb over 80 receiving yards. I think it's at 78 receiving yards, 78.5. Give me CD over 78.5 receiving yards. Give me the Pittsburgh Steelers on the money line. And I also lean CeeDee Lamb over 6.5 receptions.
Yeah, this is lock potential for me too. I'm gonna take the Steelers here at home minus 1.5.
Wow.
Minka Parsons out, Dexter Lawrence, arguably who I think is the glue guy to that defense, out on injured reserve. What'd I say?
Dexter from the Giants.
Oh, Dexter, yeah, DeMarcus Lawrence. You know who I was talking about. Mm-hmm. So those two guys being out, they can't. Their whole defense is riddled with injury. They can't stop their run to save their life. And oh, by the way, is TJ Watt healthy? Yeah, he's going to fucking feast on that offensive line. Dak, not good as an underdog. 1-8 ATS as an underdog. Last 9 games as an underdog. Justin Fields is going to have a field day. I think George
And also
Pickens
now nice bounce back spot for them as well.
coming back home, standalone game. Yep, I love this spot for the Steelers. So, yeah, I don't want to get into it real quick, but yeah, I love the Steelers here, kid. And we'll touch on Monday night on Sunday, but lock and dog segment. We will start with our lock, kid. Favorite play this Sunday. What do you got?
My favorite play this Sunday, Dill. I'm gonna go with Jacksonville -2.5 and Stephon Diggs
Wow.
over 55.5. So either or, I love Jacksonville. I think they're due for a win. I think they take care of business. And I think Stephon Diggs, like I say at least 60, 70 yards receiving. So either or, Jacksonville, I love Jacksonville this week. And then Stephon Diggs, I think he does have a little revenge game.
Wow. I love it. I told you I almost locked up Denver, but I'm going to lock up Pittsburgh -1.5, -112. I think this is a perfect bounce back spot for them. Tough loss on the road against an Indianapolis team, coming back home against a riddled defensive team that's riddled with injuries. Don't know how they're going to be able to stop Pittsburgh in that offense. Love Mike Tomlin. I think they have the coaching advantage as well. So, yeah, I'm going to lock up Pittsburgh as my dog. I did like a lot of dogs this weekend. Give me the G-Man. I'm taking the Giants here on the road against Seattle. Ultimate look-ahead spot. Thursday night, Seattle plays 49ers. If Malik Nabers plays, if they have Malik Nabers, top 5 receiver in the league already, they're not going to be able to stop him.
Number one in fantasy.
Yeah, but I just don't think they're going to be able to stop them. I think Daniel Jones has played much better, and you talk about regression and people due for regression. I think this offense is going to be able to regress at some point, and I don't trust their offensive line. I think that front 7 with Brian Burns, Dexter Lawrence, they're going to be able to get after Geno Smith. So dog of the day, give me outright plus what was it? Plus 245 on the money line. Gave me the G-Men as my dog of the day. What do you got, kid?
First of all, I love the enthusiasm, Dale. The fact that you're taking a 6.5 point dog as the dog of the week. First of all, I love it just because it's a trend. It's been happening. It's not like it's an outlier.
Come on now. It's not crazy. It's not out there.
It's not out there. I love it. But my dog of the week, give me the Cincinnati Bengals at +120. I think they hit their stride. I also like the addition of T. Higgins coming back to this offense still. My boy Olivias, he's been playing at a high level. I like the 2 tight ends with Al and Mike Gesicki. We already know what Jamar Chase is still. And say what you want, Chase Brown and Zach Moss, that combo is pretty damn good. I'm not going to say elite, but I think by the end of the season, all combined yards, they're going to be up there with one of the best rush attacks in all of football, in my opinion. So I think Cincinnati are live here. Give me the dog of the week, the Bengals +120.
I love it. As for a teaser, kid, I know you did your 2-way teaser, but I want to do a 3-legger to get some plus money with you. 2 of them that I jumped right off the page for me. Love Cincinnati, teasing them up to 8.5. Love that spot there. I
agree with you because I took them as my dog. So let's pencil that in. They'll Cincinnati +8.5.
I'll agree with you, even though I don't think they'll win the game, but teasing them up to 9.5. I like the Carolina Panthers teasing them up from 3.5 to 9.5. Do you like that one? Do you agree?
Well, it's 10 because it's +4 right now, Dill. So to get the Panthers some double digits still, I love it. So let's go Panthers. We're going dogs.
Yeah.
Cincinnati +8.5. Going Carolina to +10, Dill. And we got to pick a favorite on this one, Dill. Who's going to be the favorite we tease through?
All right. We'll tease through. That's the scariest part. If you want to look till Monday, I think teasing the Kansas City down. I think that's the play as well.
I'm going to disagree with that, and I'll let you know why Monday. Sunday
okay, so we're not going to do a favorite then. What else? I really don't trust the 49ers.
Dill, say what you want. I think Cleveland plus 9.5.
That was the one I was gonna say I can't do. I can't do Cleveland plus the 9 because we saw it last week. They could blow them out. I don't like that one. Give me another one. Give me another.
Jacksonville to plus 4.5.
Oh, teasing through 0. All right. Yeah, I'm down with that. I'm down. Let's do that.
That's my lock of the week. That's my lock of the week.
All right, so let's do that. We'll tease not Jacksonville, excuse me. We'll tease Cincinnati up to 8.5, Carolina plus 10, and Jacksonville plus 3.5. I love it.
I like it. I like it.
I like it. Plus what? What are the odds? Plus 140. I love it. Let's do it, kid. That's the teaser of the week for us. All right, kid. Let's do it. Good luck. I know we disagreed on a lot, but hopefully that's good. That's good
but
news.
the things we disagreed on, though, I didn't take it official. Like the Browns, the Raiders, I didn't take none of those officials.
Yeah, I know. So those won't count to your record.
I tell you what, I might put a piece of bet on both of those guys on the money line.
Nothing is official. The official plays we agreed with.
Yeah.
So leans, I guess our leans we disagreed with our leans. But...
Yeah, real quick, one last time, just so everybody knows the official plays for week 5, they'll what's on my shit? All right, let's go. Week 5 official plays. Minnesota minus 135 on the money line. Cincinnati plus 120 on the money line. Buffalo minus 110 on the money line. James Cook over 56.5 receiving. Stephon Diggs over 55.5 receiving yards. Jacksonville minus 2.5. Also tease them up. We'll tease them down. Carolina plus 4. Also tease them up to plus 10. Two-way teaser. San Francisco to minus 1.5. Seattle to half. Under 36.5 for the New England Miami game. Minus 3 with Green Bay. Money line Pittsburgh. And CeeDee Lamb over 78.5 receiving yards.
Yeah, only 4 official plays for me. I'll have player props that, like I said, they come more readily available as the days go on. So I'll have more player props come towards Sunday. 4 official plays: Buffalo money line, Denver minus 2.5, Giants plus 6.5, and Steelers minus 1.5. All later games except the 1:00 game between Buffalo and Houston. But yeah, love the card. Kid, let's get to and NCAA college football. I actually love the board this week. Have about 7 plays, but I do have a teaser as well. I'm just gonna rattle them off for you. We'll start here on Friday. We got Friday night action. Michigan State taking on Oregon. They're going to Eugene, Oregon, to take on the number 6 Ducks. I mean, 23.5. Are we crazy? Who's making these lines? Oregon barely survived against Idaho. 23.5, and it's a look-ahead spot. Who does Oregon have next week? The Ohio State Buckeyes. Major look-ahead spot. Yeah, they might win, but they're not winning by 24 points. Give me Sparty Nation plus 23.5. Next game, give me Syracuse. Syracuse plus 6.5 on the road taking on UNLV. They lost their quarterback due to that NIL deal. But yeah, I think Q's going on the road. Dome versus dome team. I think they're going to air it out as well. You see with the total being high at 56.5 as well. So love Syracuse here as well. Let's go to Saturday now. 12 o'clock in College Station. The Aggies taking on Missouri. I'm laying the 2 here with Texas A&M at home. I just think head coach, they have a huge advantage with the head coach, and they just don't lose at College Station. I know they lost week 1 against Notre Dame, but you take the quarterback. They have a new quarterback. I think Texas A&M is the right side here. So -2 for me. Next game, 12 o'clock still. I'm going to take the Air Force. I know Navy is my team. Having time down in Annapolis. Love my people down at the Naval Academy. But Navy has never beat Air Force by double digits. That is just disrespectful. Give me Air Force at home in elevation. Gonna be a tough place. Colorado Springs is gonna be rocking. I know their offense has been shit this season, but give me Air Force plus 10. I'll go to 8 o'clock, a little later in the day, but give me Arizona State laying the 2.5 against Kansas. I just don't trust the quarterback play for Kansas right now. Their defense hasn't looked good. And Arizona, their program has really turned it around, 3-1. I know that it was a tough loss last week, but I think this is a perfect bounce back spot here at home. So yeah, give me the Red Devils minus 2.5. We'll stay a little later in the night. Give me Cal at home against number 5 Miami. I know Cam Ward has been amazing, but let's be honest, they could have lost last week to Virginia Tech. So going here on the road against Cal, game day, first ever game day in Berkeley. Very interesting. The crowd is going to be buzzing. Give me Cal plus 10.5 at home. And then last game, did not like what I saw from Texas Tech. I know they won last week, but I didn't like what I saw from them. Give me the Wildcats laying 6.5 at home. I think they're the better team. I think Texas Tech is going to struggle defensively. So, yeah, those are my plays, kid. And then I got a 3-way teaser. Michigan teasing them up to 29.5, Michigan State. Going to tease Cal up to 16.5 against Miami. And then I'm going to tease Arizona down to a half. So plus 160, 6-point teaser.
Oh, I love it, Dill. I love it. I only have 2 plays for you guys. I think you already know one play, Dill. But let's take it 4:00 start. Rutgers taking on Nebraska. Our boy Dylan is gonna get some of that New Jersey punch still. Give me the Rutgers plus 7. I think we're gonna go out there fighting. I think we're live dogs still. No, get me wrong. We win this game. I think we're a top 25 team. Give me the Rutgers plus 7 and Little Sprinkle plus 210 on the money line deal. And then my final play. Our loyal listeners should already know the play. Give me Clemson minus 14.5 at home to me against the most disappointing team in the nation, FSU. Give me Clemson. I hope Clemson honestly stomps them. I hope Clemson wins by 30. FSU, you've been a disappointment. You're a disaster. The coach should be fired 3 weeks ago.
Wow. Yeah, I think that's just been a staple for us. We just got to continue to fade Florida State.
I'm 3-1. I'm 3-1 against them.
And I was going to touch it, but I didn't get to New York this week. I was going to take Rutgers. I think this is a really good plus 7, right?
Yeah, plus 7.
Nebraska, I think they're good. I think the kid, yeah, we make fun of him. He's a little weird, but the kid can play. I mean, there's no doubt in that. The kid has potential. But Greg Schiano's going to dice him up. I mean, I like Matt Rule, but I think Greg Schiano's a better coach in my opinion. So, yeah, I was leaning Rutgers. I just couldn't get to New York to place the bet, but that needs to change, New Jersey lawmakers. Let's be able to bet on Rutgers or any college teams at that point, because I want to bet on Seton Hall. College basketball is a few months away, kid. I mean, we got to be able to bet on the Seton Hall Pirates right down the street from us. So New Jersey has to fix that. But other than that, kid, let's go to the WNBA. We got 2 games here tonight, 7:30 Minnesota series tied 1-1. Connecticut won game 1, Minnesota won game 2. They go to Connecticut now. Right now, Connecticut 2-point favorites here at home. Over-unders 151.5. What do you like here?
Yeah, I'm gonna take Connecticut. I think they're gonna advance in this series as well. I'm gonna take them minus the points. I'm gonna lay it with them, Dill. I'm gonna lay the I'm gonna take them on the money line minus 135, and then I'm gonna lay the 2.5 as well. Don't get me wrong, Minnesota is good. They're good, but I think Connecticut, they've shown they've been one of the best teams in the W all season long, and I think they're gonna advance to the finals. Give me the Connecticut Suns minus 2.5. If you don't like it, take the money line minus 135.
Yeah, I kind of like Dewan Banner as well, the forward for the Connecticut Sun. I mean, she hits her threes as well. I mean, she was 2 for 8 game 1, 3 for 7 in game 2. She's shooting around 35% from the 3 in the playoffs as well. I like her over 1.5 threes, even 2+ threes is at plus money as well. I think she could hit two threes as well. So I was looking at that for Dewan Banner. Liberty looking to close out the series. I mean, they can't three-peat. It doesn't look like that's going to happen. But Vegas, they come back home. Maybe they could turn things around. They are the favorite now, minus 2.5. New York leads 2-0. They took care of business at home. Over-unders at 165.5. Can the Aces have some respect here at home?
I think they do, Dill. I think the Aces at least win one game, but I think it's destined for Liberty to go to the finals. So I think Aces win game 3 and then lose game 4 at home.
All right. And then anything you like here for the weekend for baseball? Like I said, we do have 4 games. Saturday, 1:00, Tigers, Guardians, 4:00, the Mets, Phillies, Royals, Yankees, 6:00. And then the night game is the Padres and the Dodgers. Anything you like here for Saturday, kid, for the baseball?
Dill, the dogs are barking. I'm gonna
Oh,
just tell
let's
you
go.
that, Dill. Give me the Padres plus 415 on the money line. Give me the Kansas City Royals plus 170 on the money line,
Wow.
and give me Detroit plus 124 on the money line. I'm gonna take the teams that played these past couple of days. I think they're just ready. They're gonna be geared up and they're gonna be ready to go. Some of these teams took a couple of days off. I know this is not a major break, Dill, but I just have a feeling these teams that were just playing got know the intensity. They're ready for playoff baseball. I think they at least win game 1. So give me all the dogs for game 1, and then I'm gonna put it in a parlay. I'll even put the Padres in there at plus 120. Give me all the dogs for game 1. The line is at plus 3,358.
Wow.
Let's get it.
Wow. The only favorite I do like is the Dodgers, minus 135 at home. Yamamoto, it's crazy. They're able to throw Dylan Cease for game 1. I mean, they have so many arms. But I do agree. I mean, Tigers plus 130 is disrespectful. The Mets at plus 160 is insane. And the Royals at plus 170. I agree on all those dogs. I'm worried about the Padres. They are one of the hottest teams outside of the Tigers, so
But
that's a
let's
toss.
let's not forget what happened game 1 of the year, Dill.
Yeah.
Yamamoto against the Padres. What
Got
happened?
blown up. Yep, he got blew up.
What's gonna happen game 1? Game 1.
We'll see. And his first major league playoffs for Yamamoto as well. We'll see how he handles the spotlight. But kid, thank you so much. Any last words? Any big plans this weekend for you, kid?
Not major big plans. Next weekend, definitely big plans. But let's just have a positive week, Dill, and go Patriots.
Yep, that's gonna do it, guys. Thank you so much. Good luck. God bless you guys on Sunday.